Hello, everyone. I'm
Press
back.
the start button on the scoreboard
I
to
haven't
play.
made any, any quest-related videos in a while, and you know, the Golden Trophy one got decent amount of support, and Golden Trophy is reasonably easy. People know how to do Golden Trophy. That's the thing about quests. Like, you get like a group of people together. Wow, that is bright. You get a group of people together, and typically you can probably beat most quests just by brute forcing it, like Crimson or maybe Jumbotron. Jumbotron's kind of hard. But the thing about Crescendo is that one, you don't have very many teammates, and two, you gotta find teammates that are good. And a lot of us don't have any friends, myself included. So some people gotta learn to do it by themselves. That's why we're here today. So I'm gonna do a full in-depth guide, everything you gotta know, all the cool
Press
things
the
to look
start
out
button on the
for,
scoreboard to
and
play.
how you be a gamer just like me. Get all the cool stuff so your friends stop making fun of you for being poor. Alright, let's get into it. So number one thing to keep in mind when you're fighting with melee weapons is to go for the head. Because most of the time you're going to be fighting these dudes, and you can just, with two of them, bring them both down on top of the pumpkin. And they die. Cool. That's pretty simple for this first room. I'm going to show you my route that I take. Make sure you got a shovel on your back and two shovels here. I'm going to run into the room. Go over here. Remain moving. Don't run directly towards the bat so they don't kill you. Come around here. There should be two of these dudes. Beat this person to death. And then there's going to be two bats. You spawn camp the bats. And then you can just pull out your shovels to block the bones. Right, so your shovel should be running out. You can grab one from over here. Break these. There'll be two more after those dudes. Come around here. You just kind of let them come to you because there's a mean person over here. And you don't want her killing you. And she's dead. Cool. So now, past this point, we don't need melee weapons ever again. The whip, you see, is the greatest weapon in all of Rec Room. It is incredibly overpowered and not balanced at all. So, we're gonna rely on whip skills from now on. Not everyone has whip skills. I recommend if you want to get better at Crescendo and you want to beat it by yourself, you probably get some whip skills. I'm gonna have a shotgun on my back and a shotgun up front right now. So you can just kill her. Be some bats that spawn. These dudes. Once you kill these guys, there'll be three of these dudes. And a maid up top. Now you can set up here. I don't see any reason to, considering how incredible the whip is. Don't have to camp really in this. You'll just get another maid and three more. Them to spawn down here. Kill those and you get three bats that surround the inner area. And we're done. Cool.
Remain seated, please. Avoid flash photography and refrain from any behavior that can damage your surroundings. And please enjoy the ride.
Cool. So, on this level, there is actually a glitch where you can shoot your shotgun. Tell me I'd only have one shot left. You grab it again, which I can't do because I'm bad at it. You re-grab the shotgun like that, you will have all your shots back. We're not going to use that though, because once again, the whip is crazy overpowered and we don't need it. When you're fighting enemies, always try to get the whip, like the end of it, behind them so they don't fly away from you and you don't gotta wait for them to walk back. So like, good example, put behind them so they all come towards me and I don't need to wait for anything. It's nice to have some kind of melee weapon in your offhand because the bats that they swarm on you, you always will be able to insta-kill a purple bat with these. So if it comes towards you, you'll be able to just swat it away. Self-defense tactic. Not everyone has crazy reaction though. Alright. Not too many tips for this. Try to keep one side down at the time. So like now that I see that there's no enemies that are gonna harm me over there, I can go to the other side. Don't leave, like, if you see bats that are over here, don't just like turn around and start fighting over here. Finish the bats that you can see off first. Finish one side at a time so bats don't sneak up on you. Alright. So, here's how I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna use a shotgun in this hand, whip in this hand. So, you wanna start. When you're fighting, you saw how I was moving to the right. When you're fighting these guys, make sure you're always moving horizontally to them. Same thing for all the rest of the enemies in all my videos. So I'm moving to the right, fighting that guy. I'm gonna move to the left, fighting this one. Move to the left, keep moving to the left. That's so if they do shoot, they cannot track your head perfectly. They track the last position they do before they fire their shot. And if that last position is not where you're standing, they won't hit you. So you come up around here. Don't ever jump directly onto the bridge. That's a really bad idea. It'll spawn everything at one time. You're gonna slowly make your way down the bridge. And then there'll be 2 dogs at the end. Oh. So I got a double shotgun. I'm gonna take out this guy and make sure you don't get shot by this one. Once they're all dead, you'll get some enemies that spawn up here. Nice thing to know is that the second you kill these guys, this guy's gonna spawn. So if you just hit, turn around, and kill him, then you won't have any problems. Good way to be safe is to come up here. Nothing can hit you up here unless there's a maid that spawns on the right, which you'll probably outrange her anyway. This is a nice place to sit if you don't want the risk of dying. Best part about the whip is when you hit somebody, they automatically are stunned forever. Not forever, but for multiple seconds, longer than the bow or the guns stun enemies. They like fall over and stuff. Just swing, knock most of them down. And once again, if you're moving horizontally and you're not super close, those guys can't kill you. Okay. So, in here, there's nothing really mad important, but, you know, besides just the silver and everything. But I'm not going to be getting all that. There is a lot of chests, so I will show you chest locations that are nice to look out for in this room. So, you can have a chest right here. Chest over this way. Have one sit right there. You can have one on all 4 chandeliers. So make sure you're looking up here. There is none up here though. There can be one right there. On both of these, so inverse to where this one is. Oh, also, I wouldn't take crossbows. Unless you're, you know, the craziest crossbow user in the game. It's not worth it. Pistols though. Pistols have a lot more ammo in this than they do in the Isle of Lost Skulls, so those are nice to take. And that is it. There's inverse over there, possibly. As well as some that can be at the start. Alright. Into the gallery. You're coming down here, you can just whip the doorway, because they'll all be spawning right at the doorway. Make sure you do this quick, and just whip this guy down here, so there's no threats that can hit you going into this way. If you run up here and do that quickly before these guys move up here, then you'll have no threats that come around. You don't gotta move anywhere. No. When you drop down, be aware that there is a dude at the end of the hallway, so make sure you either have all those guys dead, or you got a plan to deal with him. So when you're walking into this room, try to stay as far as you can on the right so she can't see you until you have enough whip distance. Because if you walk out that way, right there, then she might see you and you won't be able to whip her in time before she can start throwing bones. So it's nice to leave on the right side. You can just kind of sit back here and do your thing. Those guys actually will take a long time to get to if they spawn at that doorway. So I advise you can just sit out here. It's not even smart to sit in that room. There's like no reason to let everything come to you. By the time the bats can actually, like, you know, get close to you, start shooting you, you can already hit them with the whip. So. And then that's that room. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to show the normal strategy, the thing that most people do, because this is the most easy to get down and everything. What I like to do is I take 2 shotguns, run up here, shoot her twice, and then I leave. Well, I normally stay in the room, but this is the good strategy for most people. So now you can have your whip out and just have her chase you. Cool thing about the bone is it has regular physics, so if you want to whip it away from you, you can. If you see, like, I whipped it out of the air, that's kind of an advanced thing to know, but to be able to do. Be careful with that though, because the bone can hit and kill you if you aren't careful. A good way to do what I just did is you just come around here. Normally what most people do is they come up here and they sit on this chandelier because it, you know, can't kill you and everything like that. So that's another good way to do it, but that's not how I did it just now. Just for time's sake and everything. Once again, move horizontally to every enemy that you face. So even if the purple bat does charge you, it will not charge to your direct location. And we're just gonna take these. Let's go. It's always nice to have either a shovel or a shotgun. I prefer a shotgun because, you know, anything that's in front of you that you shoot the shotgun with is gonna die. But some people like having the swingy swing. Alright, when you enter this room, you can just turn right here and whip this back corner and it'll hit everything that's in that room. Once they're dead, over here and hit this guy. You'll have 3 places they spawn. Over there, and over there. I would just go one at a time, clearing them out. Once you kill enough of them though, 2 of these dudes will spawn. You want to take them out as soon as you can. That's just to be safe. Because if you don't, they can mess you up. Bats get stuck on that place where they just were, right here. They get stuck right there, so if you need to approach them, I wouldn't, you know, just don't ever run through here. I just come around the long way, around here, and kill them that way. Alright. There are secrets, you know, secret place right here for extra chests and stuff. I don't really care about that right now. I have all the stuff I need, but if you do want that, that is nice to know. There's another secret right here. If you just touch this, then it opens that. You can start this fight right here, and then just whip the rim. You'll most likely hit both of the bats and something like that. So what I like to do for this fight is I start down here, because there's 2 places they spawn, right here and right over there. So you kill whatever's over here, turn around, careful not to whip the this over here, because if you bring yourself up here, you'll be in risk of other stuff that is already up here, possibly that maid that was just there. Once you kill them, you'll get 2 gunners at the top, enemies that spawn back here and in the room. I just recommend you stay at the top, because enemies can't hit you if you move horizontally. Best direction there is. Once you finish those waves, there'll be 2 gunners and 1 maid, another maid at the bottom, oh, 2 maids at the bottom, sorry, and a whole heck ton of bats. Where's this bat at? Cool. Finish that room. Just make sure, don't go to brawl enemies like that have projectiles. Just try to keep your distance the best you can. See the bats though, like when they're down there, they will start shooting at you up here. Once again, horizontally. Your whip outranges them, so no matter what, you will be able to kill them if you have good movement. So a lot of people, what they do is they go in there, let all the enemies spawn, they come out here and camp. That's cool. You can do that. That's a good way to do it. What I'm gonna do, the less dangerous way, is to come over here, get behind this pillar. You are safe behind the pillar. The pillar is kind. And there's two places they spawn, over there, and they'll spawn over here. So you can hear where they're gonna spawn, and your whip is just long enough that it can reach over to this room and kill anything that is going to kill you. And you can just peek out while you're waiting and kill this dude. Alright, that should be all the enemies over here. I can jump out. Alright. So there is actually more enemies once you hit this top platform up there. So I'm gonna turn up here. And I'm gonna jump onto this pillar. Because there's gonna be enemies that spawn there, and enemies that spawn over here. They cannot hit you if you stand on top here. None of them can. That's the wonder of that spot. Cool. Making good time too. Once again, all the same spots. Loot up if you need stuff. Like I need a shotgun. There's a shotgun right here. And should be it. Now this is the part where people start to struggle. Is probably the place that people die the most. Is this place. So when you start, you're gonna have enemies that spawn directly in front of you. Get rid of them. And then you will not be able to see down here because of the fog. But just know that whatever, because how gunners work is as long as like you are in direct line of sight of them, is like if they can see you, you can see them. Flip that around. If you can see them, they can see you. So say like over here, I can't see them at all. But I can hear that little that he makes when he's gonna charge at me, or he's gonna like charge a shot. I can hear that, so I know that he's gonna shoot at me. So that's when you're cued to move vertically. Not vertically, horizontally. I'm struggling, man. So I come across here, early kill on that maid, and I immediately jump up here. There's a bug where these enemies won't be killed. I'm not sure if they fixed that, but they have not. That's what the gun's nice for. It's only in that. Here, I'll show you in 1 second. It's only in this spot right here, next to the grave. If enemies spawn there, sometimes you can't kill them with a whip. So that's what the gun is nice for. So, something that's nice to know going into this fight, because it is kind of overwhelming and sometimes you can die to it, even if you are really good, is that enemies right here, because they'll go across the bridge and they'll go this way. Most of them will group up on the bridge right about here, and they can't see you, but you can see them. So with a good whip crack, you can kill most of the enemies just sitting up here. But the flyers, they move a little bit quicker, the bats, so they might cut you off. It's nice to just have that extra shotgun on you for safety. I don't have that, so I'm going to substitute it with a shovel. You can whip right in the middle of the two, like right there, and you can kill both of them going into the fight. Kill these guys and walk up here. Got one made. Kill the ones in the middle. Other made. Then you're free to camp right here because all the enemies are going to spawn below you. That's why I say the whip is so overpowered. It's got a huge range of damage, huge range of things it can kill. A lot of power. When you finish killing the all the pumpkins, you can move down to where I just did when all the bats are spawning and stuff, because sometimes they'll spawn a little too far for your whip to hit if you're standing up here. So it's nice to curl around and get some good good distance. It's not even really getting close to them either. They got to travel a decent distance, and you can probably spawn camp them with your whip anyway. You walk up here. You're gonna get pumpkins. I'm gonna do this the safe way. There's a little bit advanced tactic to set up there with the boss, but I'm not gonna do that in this video. So we're just gonna let them come to us. Take advantage of the distance that you have between the boss to kill enemies, because it might take a little bit longer for them to walk towards you. And you can slowly just start damaging the boss as you're killing the enemies over here. eventually the enemies will group up on them, so you'll probably kill the enemies while you're killing the boss, which is nice. Just like that, the boss is dead. I have my sound turned up a decent bit, because I would like to emphasize the importance of sounds in this. Sounds tell me about half the things that I know about what's going on in fights. Very important that you have your sound on. Enemies all have audio cues before they swing, before they shoot, before they fire the fireballs, and before they throw bones. It's very important to know what's going on around you. I would try to refrain from using crossbows. I already said that, but like for this one, you don't have to reload it, so you can use it one-handed. But that most of the time will require a decent bit of accuracy, and accuracy you have to focus on, which might take your attention away from the fight. So I would just say keep this if you really are good with it or you're confident with it, you can use that, but I wouldn't. They're gonna get enemies that spawn over here, and at the top. If you're standing right here, the whip can hit everything, and some that will spawn at the bottom. Then you'll get some from behind. And once again, I hear everything that is in the room around me at that same time. So like I knew that witch when I was down here, I could hear her walking. I knew to whip right there because she can't see me and I can hear her. So the same thing as before with that other witch when we were in the gallery the first time. Make sure you stay as far as you can right. Kill these things. You can get both of these dead. And then spawn camp all of the groups as they spawn. Same thing for the wolves. When I'm here fast enough, you can get all the wolves dead without them attacking you. This is a big, difficult boss for people, and I'm going to try to explain the order of stuff spawning. You're going to have two gunners that will spawn on the front. One that will spawn behind you. Then her. Then you'll have one right here. You should have this guy. You just want to always make sure that you're staying on top of here, where you have distance away from the bottom. And generally you can spawn camp as long as you're diligent. Spawn camp things before they spawn. Like even she was right on top of me and I was just able to just little whip and she was dead. A little warning about whipping over here. You can really easily whip onto this and pull yourself closer to whatever's shooting at you. Try to keep your whips high. Once you kill all the stuff that's spawning up here, things will start spawning on that side and on this side. I would just get onto one of the sides and kill all the stuff. So I'm gonna leave one thing alive, just this bat, because you can just put the fireball and get around it. I'd probably stay in the room for this fight. Probably your best bet. Because entering the room if everything's already spawned is really difficult. So I'm gonna kill this thing, and it's immediately going to start heading towards you. Good to stay on top of stuff. Things are gonna start spawning again, and the bat also can move at head height. It's nice to be above or below the bat to have tables that will block its shots from you. Like, see, it has this table that's blocking it. So I can just free range over every enemy that isn't it. You can also start shooting it, but no. Once all the enemies are dead, it will trigger this pause. The same thing that happened before will happen. Things will spawn over here and things will spawn over there. So I just pick this side and just wait. Unless you're on top of there already, which is probably a better place to be, but make sure you're once again listening for bats that spawn ahead of you or above you, because just touching the purple bats will kill you. So if they spawn on your head and you're reasonably tall, you might be screwed. Alright. So now for this one. This isn't too hard. Hardest part about this is the traps. I'm gonna explain the route I take for the traps, and everything else should be pretty kosher. There's a place right here. If you glitch walk through here, you can teleport on the other side of this wall, fall right down to the boss room. I might do an advanced tech guide for quests, and if I do that, then I'll explain how all of the cool skips work. But right now, I'm gonna do it normally. So you can move past here. And once this shoots down, move around the pillar. Hug this wall. Move past this, keep hugging the wall. Watch, don't go too far and hit knees. Get in this corner. Past this. And once the thing passes you, you can get to this corner right here. Where this is here, and this passes you. So you should be lined about right here. Once this passes, walk past it and hug the wall, and then walk past this one, and you're out. You will not die. If you touch this, you'll just respawn. So, you know, you're good to just wait. Take your time. No rush. This one, I figure most people can already get through these, but just wait. Get down in the middle of the two lasers and hop it. Alright, so there is a skip that I normally take where you jump onto here, and then you can just jump onto this platform right here. And that's kind of difficult for some people, so I'm not going to do it. But that is also an option, completely risk-free. You do not die if you get hit by these, so you will be perfectly fine to try that. Just, that's a nice thing to take. Make sure you're watching for this, because sometimes it'll surprise you as you're trying to go under it. Watch for where it is before you enter the bottom here. You can just jump to the ladder. And then to the door. This room is pretty easy. There's only two places they can come from, right there and right there. So once you get to here, I just turn around and run back. Bats are kind of scary because you can't see them, and there's a lot of them. I just recommend taking your time. You can listen for them. Like right here, I knew that they were on my left because I heard them that way, so I just whipped right there and they all died. Good thing for this part, so you don't have to worry about the bone ladies, is you just run in here, listen for them spawn, and run and stand right here. And if you hear, they should... Will they do it? That's the question. Does not sound like they will. You can get them to die. They'll jump on the spikes. If they run over onto them. But they can't see you for that to happen, so, you know. Run through here. Little area over here. I would recommend breaking this jug. You don't need it. It's not going to do any reasonable damage, and it's just going to kill you. Another jug. Break jugs. Don't use jugs. It's not worth it. They don't do that much damage. Not the same as a good whip crack. And they will kill you. Alright, for the dog. Nothing too crazy. Same thing as before, always move horizontally, and it will not hit you, no matter what. Once you see it start to open its mouth and charge, you just move to the right or to the left, whatever you prefer. Make sure you're staying in the center of the room, because you might hit a wall, and it might be too late for you to move out of the way. Cool beans. And for the final boss. I will... there's actually nothing you can really take in here if you're by yourself, because everything is already laid out for you in this room. So you don't really need a shotgun. Unless you want to have an extra shotgun, which, you know, that's normal. Smart. Now, I did save this pistol.
Welcome.
I didn't save a pistol.
It looks like we're the last
I will
ones
take shotguns,
here.
throw them over to
I was
areas you might be
beginning to
fighting in.
think you wouldn't
So the
make
middle,
it with
over
all
here, over
those
there. You'll be surprised how
details.
much it can save you when you're in a tough situation. And I'll
Enough.
just skip this on me.
How about you?
So, generally speaking, he will spawn on top of you, which is very scary. So always keep something close to you that you can whip up onto. In case he does, like that. I can hear him behind me, so I jumped out of the way. Alright. So you'll be able to hear which one he is. Don't double whip these enemies, you can just run them around. If you can kill the right one, there's a lot less enemies you need to fight. Here, kill this one. Very much important thing to know. Run in circles, always keep moving, and kill the enemies before the bats. So he should be this one. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm bad at this. Prioritize killing the enemies over the bats, because the more bats you kill, the more things spawn in the room. So you want to narrow down who it is. So he didn't say anything when he charged. He didn't either. He didn't either. He did. You just... He will not shoot through the floor, so that's a good safe space. Where he's at, you can just shoot him. Alright. Same thing as before. Focus on enemies. There should be 2 up there. Move horizontally. Cool thing about the gunners is that they die in 1 hit if you get a good whip crack, so focus on your whips. Focus on the enemies, just hit the floor. You don't need to kill bats. There's a lot of bats, but as long as you're moving, he's in there. He's in there somewhere. And all you need to do, slowly get closer to them, have them charge, and wait for the right one. He should be one of those 2, I just heard. Yep, he's right there. I did accidentally kill a bat, but he is now damaged. So a nice way to do this is you can just kill one at a time. That's what a lot of people do. He should be this bat. I'm probably gonna lose him here, but it doesn't really matter. Once again, take your time. You don't need to rush. Don't panic. Don't do anything stupid. Just take your time. Once I've narrowed him down, I can shoot him. Oop, these did spawn up there. I'm not gonna. Just gonna wait. And cool. That's Crescendo solo. A good thing to note while you're doing that fight is you do need to stand still to use this without being able to move around. It'll just, be kind of difficult to aim. So something that's good to know is that he works the same as the fire imps, is that his projectile will travel one direction that is directly at your head when he shoots it. So if I'm standing right here, right? Let me get my maker pen, not my maker pen, my streamer can.
Ready to start.
If he's shooting at you and your head's right here, right? And he shoots that ball is gonna hit where the head is. So if you just move out of the way for each fireball that he shoots, he won't be able to kill you. And, the distance between the fireballs is pretty decent, so, your head can fit between it. You don't need to worry about hitting any other ones. And that's a decent Crescendo guide. Solo. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that did help. I know a lot of people have some trouble with Crescendo, and I hope I could be of use to the gamers out there that watch my channel. Goodbye.